Oh my gosh, I'm seeing red. Hi guys, it's Jackson, and today we are going to go over my entire Cars diecast collection, as well as any stories I have to tell about them. You guys voted for this in the recent community post I made back when the channel hit 1K subscribers, and I'd really just, before getting into this, really like to thank you for all the support the channel's got, and I am really grateful for it. As you can tell by looking around, a lot of the cars in this collection are newer ones, and that is because I want to say for a solid 5 years or so, I stopped collecting them and gave a lot of the old diecasts I had away, although you can definitely tell that I still have some of them from when I was younger. But for the most part, yeah, this collection I have built up over the course of 7 months, and a large part of that is because the videos I made on cars for this channel have, you know, kind of brought back the obsession I used to have with this franchise when I was that age. So let's start with the first diecast I ever got as part of my brand new collection. Wow, Cars 1 Lightning McQueen. What else do you have, Jackson? Tow Mater? Yes, this is the 2024 single release of Cars 1 Lightning McQueen, and I didn't even order this with the intention to start building my collection again. Originally, I just wanted this as like a fun little thing to have on my desk, and I remember that I ordered it around the time I started working on my video for Pixar Bricktoons, writing the script on it. And I really wanted it to arrive in time for when I started filming that video, because it was a video on Pixar and it also had Lightning McQueen in it, so I thought it'd be pretty neat if I had like a little Lightning McQueen on my desk for that video. But that didn't happen. It arrived like, I want to say a week after that video came out, when I was editing the video I did on SpongeBob's Truth or Square. And as a result, it wouldn't appear until I made that video on the other versions of Cars, which is also a pretty fitting time for this thing to start showing up in my videos. And yeah, I pretty much kept this on my desk in every single one of the videos I made for the rest of 2024. But at the beginning of 2025, as you all know, I switched over to... Shoot, I don't know where it is up there. Radiator Springs Lightning McQueen. You know, the one that appears at the end of the first Cars. I got this as a Christmas gift from my Nana. As you can tell by looking at the box, it is definitely a bit roughed up. And that was because she got it for me as a stocking stuffer, so she folded the box like this in order to make sure that it would fit in. But I was able to iron the bend out by putting like a super heavy object on it. Now it only bends like this, which is better, but yeah, I've been putting this on the desk of all my videos starting in January of this year with the one I made on Mater National, and I plan to keep it that way for the rest of the year. I guess I'll get this part out of the way real quick and just cover all of the cars that I ordered online, because I don't really have any special stories attached to them. And those cars are Lightning McQueen with racing wheels, Rusty's Lightning McQueen, and GRC Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen with racing wheels I ordered because I hadn't seen him pretty much anywhere in an actual physical store, and I just really wanted him. For whatever reason, something must have gone wrong when it was shipping, because there's a bit of a crack at the bottom here. Doesn't really bother me that much since he's still in box and it's not super messed up, but it's just a little interesting thing to talk about. Rusty's Lightning McQueen I didn't order because it was hard to come by or anything. It is a very common diecast right now, but I just really didn't want to go out of my way to find it in a store. I was just kind of lazy. And then GRC Lightning McQueen I ordered specifically because back when the GRC diecasts were first coming out, they were really hard to come by for a long time. Of course, they are a lot more common now, but back when I ordered this must have been like 5 to 6 months ago, and you could barely find any GRC stuff in like any stores, so getting it online was basically my only option. And now that the rest of the GRC racers are more common, I'm hoping that I'll be able to get them all in the near future, especially since I know that if I don't, they are going to be very rare in about 5 years, like pretty much all of the post-Cars 2 diecast lines that Mattel made. Moving away from stuff I ordered online and into stuff I actually found at a store, there's these 4 guys: Road Trip, Lightning McQueen, The King, Doc Hudson, Sally. I found all of them when I went to a Target a few months back. It was actually the first time I had ever driven somewhere on my own. It was like literally the day after I got my driver's license, the actual physical card, not the piece of paper they give you when you first apply for one. This is a die-cast of Winford Bradford Rutherford. I found, well, at a completely different Target. It was like a few months after I'd gone to that other one. And I got it while I was on the way back from seeing the Minecraft movie with some friends. Before you ask, this was my theater's reaction to the chicken jockey scene.
Chicken jockey! Yeah!
Here is a single of Glow Racers Lightning McQueen, and here is a double pack, the only double pack I own right now, of Bling Bling Lightning McQueen and Tex Dynaco, both of which I found while going to my local Fry's, which is an absolute miracle because the stock of diecast at my Fry's is usually ass. And then there's Billy Oil Changer. I didn't get this guy at a Target. I did not get him at a Fry's. I got him at a O'Reilly Auto Parts. Ironically, I was shopping for supplies to get a oil change for my truck, and while I was at the front desk, they have this little section of a bunch of Hot Wheels and like a slightly smaller section for just cars. And I thought, why not? And just add Billy to that order. Here are some die-casts I found when I went to a Bookman's one time. They are the 2008 print of Tar Lightning McQueen, as you can tell with the little thing covering his lightning bolt, and the 2008 print of Dale Earnhardt Jr., which from my understanding is one of the harder die-casts to come by. Not just this specific printing, but just like in general. And if I'm remembering correctly, that is because like there's some weird licensing issues surrounding Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s name that have basically made this impossible to reprint ever since like 2008, 2009-ish. And while we're still on the topic of retro diecasts, I guess I should bring this out, which is the Cars 3 version of Mater. There are no differences as far as I'm aware from the normal Mater that Mattel's been reprinting for like 20 years at this point. It is just the box. You may not consider 2017 to be retro, but I sure do. There is Fabulous, the Fabulous Lightning McQueen right here, which I got as a gift from my Nana. Same thing goes for the, I lost him. Same thing goes for the Mater right here. I got these both as gifts from her. Thanks for that. And without further ado, I think I can move on to the diecast I got at Disneyland. Before we get started on everything I got at Disneyland, first I want to talk about the price of these diecasts. In my neck of the woods, a single like Sally right here usually costs around $4.99, and a double like these guys is like $7 to $8.99. Storm, on the other hand, this single, $9.99. Classic Disneyland, upcharging the prices of everything they sell. But yeah, Jackson Storm, that was one of the diecasts I got at Disneyland. I also got Mario Andretti right here. Daryl Card Trip. And Luigi and Guido. In terms of stuff I got that was exclusive to Disneyland, I got these die casts of the little racing vehicle at Radiator Springs Racers and the tractor at Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. Both of which, I don't know both of which, but this one is made to be 1/55 scale, and both of which are made in the shape of the old school Cars die-cast boxes. They're not as tall, but I don't know, I think it's still a pretty neat attention to detail. Like, Disneyland didn't have to go that far. They could have just made their own unique box and made everything inconsistent. I also got this and this, which are two multi-packs containing 1/43 scale die casts, both based on Mater's Tall Tale shorts. This one's based on Air Mater, and this one's based on Heavy Metal Mater. And then I also got these two, which are newer die casts, each with their own weird little gimmick. Starting off with this one, it is Lightning McQueen and Ralph Carlo. And the main shtick of this one is that you're supposed to pull the cars back and allow them to zoom off. I also really like Lightning's expression right here. It reminds me of the Cars DVD menu and how for like a brief 2 seconds he'll look to the top right of the screen. Probably wasn't what the people that made this were thinking of when they created this die cast, but I like to think it was. And then there's this one for Cars on the Road. It doesn't have the pullback gimmick. It is a normal looking diecast for the most part, but as you can tell, there are these two holes. One is on Lightning's hood and one is on his top. And what you're supposed to do is that you're supposed to take his Road Rumbler gear or his Deputy Hazard costume, and there are supposed to be two little things in there that are supposed to insert inside of those holes in order for Lightning to put on his road rumbling gear and wear a skin suit. So that's why he wanted me to pull off my skin. But the biggest thing I would have gotten from Disneyland, you could just tell from the noises it's making. This giant Mac meant to hold all of the pull back and go Disneyland die casts. I actually used to own a Mac just like this one, although it was meant for like the older Disney Store die casts. And here, let me see the face. Yeah, the face wasn't nearly as movie accurate as this one. Although, besides that, they're pretty much the exact same. At least the Mac's not the cars inside. Just like that Mac, you can tap his hat to make him say phrases, although I haven't put any batteries in it, so he doesn't do it right now. And I don't remember him ever doing it on the old one I owned, probably because I drained the battery so darn fast. That's it for stuff I got at Disneyland. As you can tell, going there has put me in generational debt, but now we can finally move on to stuff I owned when I was younger. My favorite part of the video. We have this variant of Lightning McQueen, the Cars 1 Lightning McQueen. I don't know exactly what this one is called. I think it's called Determined Lightning McQueen. I think that's its official name. As you can tell, it is very chipped. It has gone through some stuff. The next one I own is Smell Swell Lightning McQueen, still with his sponsor and everything. It is a bit chipped, but it is in otherwise pretty good condition, which is very surprising. A lot of the cars I had when I was younger had a bunch of chips on them, so. Next up is Carbon Fiber Lightning McQueen. Its wheels are are a little bit bent at the back of them, or at least they used to be. I think I straightened them out a bit ago. Since it's not made out of... Oh, camera needs to get in focus. Since it's not made out of metal like the rest of the car, this thing has scratched off a bit really easily, but the actual metal itself is still in pretty good condition. I have Finish Line, Lightning McQueen. I'm pretty sure this is when they switched to making them in Thailand, just judging by like the printing quality on his eyes. And then I think I got with that this Thailand version of Not Chuck. Here is Carnival Cup Lightning McQueen. This is probably one of my favorite of the post Cars 2 die-cast lines Mattel had. He's a bit scratched up, but in otherwise pretty good condition. There, I have both versions of Lightning McQueen from Radiator Springs 500.5. I have the plastic one that came with that play set based on the short. It's seen better days. The stickers aren't in the best condition. In fact, this entire part is gone. And this is also falling off, but it is in a much better condition than a lot of the other Cars stuff with stickers on them I owned when I was younger. And the die-cast, the metal one, is also in better condition than I thought it would be. It's got these goofy wheels to represent the fact that it's an off-road vehicle, and can the camera focus on it? Something I noticed is that the Cozy Cone Motel is one of Lightning's sponsors on his side, which is a pretty cute detail I didn't notice until now. I have this Student Driver Lightning McQueen based on the unreleased To Protect and Serve short. Before you ask, no, I did not sneak into Mattel's headquarters to steal this. They still release merch based off the short, even though it never released. I think there are a couple of things broken. Yeah, there should be another traffic light back there, and it is a bit chipped, but it's still in pretty good shape. Here is just a random mini racer of Cars 1 McQueen that was just laying around. Here are some of the old micro drifters I have. These are of Cars 2 Lightning McQueen, and I don't know how to pronounce that name. I know we're still kind of going out of diecast territory now, but here's this little plastic Lightning McQueen. I can't remember exactly where I got it from. I think it was in one of those old... It was like, I remember as a kid, it was in like an old little water toy, and I literally got help from my grandparents to like break the toy open so I could get this little plastic McQueen. Geez, that would have had to have been like 12 years ago, and I still have it now. And then this one is not a metal die-cast at all. This is wood, and I helped make it with my grandparents. Our family was having a derby of some kind. We were like making our own little wooden cars and racing them on a track, and I decided to make Lightning McQueen for mine. I know that the stickers for the 95 and his eyes we printed out ourselves. Or not ourselves, but we didn't print them out ourselves, but we found these decals online. And since I was like a little goober 6-year-old back when this happened, I also tried poorly drawing the Rusty's logo on his front and back, as well as a little smile for him. Oh! And there we have it, my entire Cars diecast collection, or just Cars merch in general. It's not the biggest collection I bet a lot of you guys have seen, but for something I've been slowly building up over the course of 8 or so months, I'm pretty happy with the position that it's in, and I hope it only gets bigger in the future. Once again, I would like to thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. I would not be making this video otherwise. And if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. And to everybody watching, have a good one.